Hello again, everyone. Oh, we humans. We beg for approval, and then we get approval, and then we feel good about ourselves, and then we have pride, and then we're told that pride is bad and knocked down a peg, and then we try to boost ourselves back up to where we feel good about who we are and build up our self-esteem, and then we say, I'm a great person, and then somebody's there to knock us down again and say, oh, you're just being arrogant. And on goes this absurd game of cat and mouse, so to speak, with humans. It's just something I've noticed a lot more over the years, but to give an example, I've noticed a lot of people who play the victim role and feel that they're not good enough, and therefore they will post comments or write books or leave, whatever it may be, however they converse with people. And it's funny because these days you can't just say have a conversation, because it could be a post, it could be a blog, it could be a vlog. And they'll tell the world how miserable they are, how unhappy they are, how much they don't feel good about themselves. And then everyone else who feels, somewhat decent about themselves will say, hey, you can do it, it's okay, we all have hard times, You just need to feel good about who you are and realize that you're doing your best. And so then that person might work for weeks, months, years, decades, and finally build themselves up to where they feel like they're worthy. And then let's just say, as an extreme example, somebody posts and says, I know I'm a great person. And then there will always be somebody there who doesn't feel as great to knock that person down and say, oh, well, you can't be so arrogant about it, don't be so cocky. I hope I'm defining this well enough, that it's mixed signals, it's cognitive dissonance we have within our society, that we want people to feel good about who they are, but not feel too good, because if you don't feel as good as I do, then you must be arrogant. And I can analyze this honestly, because as a human being, there are times when I feel great about who I am. I say, I'm doing a good job, I'm doing my best. I've got kids, I've raised them as best I can, I'm trying to pay my bills, I'm trying to, move forward in life, whatever that might be. I don't believe that success is money or progress, but that I really believe that people can get better and become better people. And so I slowly climb my own little ladder, whatever it might be. I guess it's a circular ladder. There's no real destination. There's an image in society that we climb a ladder to get to a particular point. And if climbing the corporate ladder is your thing, or if your whole goal in life is to get ahead by having profits and money, and you think that that's going to make you a great person, or recognized at least, I don't think that most people think money will make them a good person. They just think that if they have money, they can either buy respect or get respect because they have the finances to do so. And of course, in my personal opinion, that's absolutely absurd to think that anyone could, or should be respected over income or money at all. There are people out there who make millions of dollars a year who don't lift a finger. There are people out there who make billions of dollars a year who may work their butts off, but do it through ripping other people off, or through the less fortunate, through loss of stocks or bonds, or the point being that everything is energy, and whoever loses, there's always somebody there to gain it. So therefore, if you're gaining, there's usually somebody who's losing. And understanding that allows us to approach life with a way, in a method that says, hey, if I'm taking too much for myself and I haven't really earned it, then maybe it's, not something I deserve. But ill-earned money, or money that's inherited, turns people into complete assholes. But really, this is about more than money. It's about what we think brings us worth, I guess. Self-worth to me is it's a fleeting idea. I don't think, there are moments when I feel completely confident in being human. Let me just use my herb business for an example. I was a carpenter for, 15 years on and off, and I really thought that I'd be able to make a career out of it. I got my own license to do carpentry, and then I started doing remodels and working for other people. Then I got into finished carpentry, and then I started doing staircases, wood paneling, cabinets, anything I could. And then my whole job was based around custom carpentry. And then all of a sudden I got sciatica, and I couldn't stand up well. My back was fucked up. And I said, if I'm going to be lifting wood like this for the rest of my life, I'm going to be suffering physical pain in order to have physical wealth of any sort. And so I quit. And for a couple of years I suffered. And during that time I felt like less than not worthless. I mean, I know better. It's just, my wife had to work harder. And at that time we had 2 kids, young kids, and had to take care of them. And I felt, with my sciatica, I couldn't even lift up my son. There was a time when I couldn't even lift my baby, and I said, this is what I have to look forward to. And so I think after my back got a little better and I quit doing that and started my herb business, it was all for the sake of taking on something new and wanting to feel like, well, I can actually finish my life without being completely debilitated. So now I can lift my son, and now my back's back. But just as my business starts to take off, I start to feel like, ooh, am I fucking up again? Like, I don't know. It's very difficult to explain. It's like we never feel like we're adequate enough to an extent. We always feel like we could be doing more. And I just wanted to say that I'm grateful to feel that way. Because I would much rather feel like I'm inadequate and I need to work harder than to think that everything's just fine and that I've done enough. Because there are more than enough assholes out there that think that they are just the greatest thing under the sun. And I hate to say that they're usually males, but it's a genetic thing. It really is. It's not genetics, family genetics as much as this male dominance gene, if you will. And I'm not speaking literally, but the fact that this patriarchy, this idea that men have to be men and they have to be tough and they have to work hard and they have to do these are things that are ingrained in human nature. It's millions of years of evolution have led us to this point where we're living in houses and we have hot tubs and cars and go on vacations, and it's not what nature intended for humans. I shouldn't say that. I should say it's not living along the lines that have been for millions of years. And so we have to kind of adapt who we are and how we think to the way that nature operates, In other words, going with the flow only works if you really go with the flow. If we're trying to resist it by being greater or, taking charge of our lives and, doing great things, the artists, musicians, the real heroes in the world, which are the artists and musicians, definitely not the corporate CEOs or presidents or, leaders. These people have brought us nothing but grief. Humans are not meant to be led by the billions, by single individuals. It just doesn't work. It looks like my wife's home. So I suppose I'm going to go now. It's probably a good time. I bid you all farewell and have a wonderful day.